First, we're going to do the take a refuge to the Buddha Dharam Sangha. Then we're going to do the one raffle dance to protect this Newah in the world. So help to protect and to preserve more. That's what we're going to do. So, okay, we're going to do refuge. Guru Buddha, Guru Dharma, Guru Sangha, Tathaivacha, Guru Vacha, Dharaseva, Dasmani Shree, Guru Tasmai Shree Guruve Namo. Guru Buddha, Guru Dharma, Guru Sangha, Tathaivacha, Guru Vacha, Dharastheva, Tasmai Shree Guruve Namo. Now we're going to do the Mahakala dance, which is powerful and strong.
Krishna
Thank you, Shree.
Thank you, Subha.
I forget to unmute. Okay, thank you, Prajal and his team, Bobby, Anna, and Josh. So this is a piece of presentation that Newah people always play in their sacred place. So now I'm going to talk about why we are doing this, the World Newah Day. Definitely, it's, without giving some background information, we are not going to just assemble by with any, just by itself. So World Newah Day today is the fourth one. It was started 4 years ago in 2018. It was just proposed by the World Newah Organization. That organization was established in 2011 with a convention of the Newah people around the world in London University. And from that 2011 So according to the constitution of World Newah Organization, it was supposed to organize the convention every 3 years. So the first one in London, and then second one, we always choose to be a part of Nepal, and every alternate year, alternate convention we do in Nepal. That was the decision of the meeting. So when we were planning to do the convention, the second one in Nepal, actually natural calamity that took place in 2015 with that big disaster of earthquake. We tried so many different ways, but we could not do it. So we have to shift that from Kathmandu, already declare one to back to United States in Baltimore in 2016, sorry. So, and then 2016, the last Saturday of March was the second convention. And then in 2017, so we have a regional convention in Canada. So from that time, we were wondering how to make the Newah people aware of our culture, our tradition, our everything. So that's why we came up with the idea to celebrate the World Newah Day. So the World Newah Day, the first one we did in Kathmandu, because the Kathmandu or Nepal Mandala is the original place of Newah people. That's how we did it over there. So people from Dance Mandala, Niti Mandala Mahabhyara, there are 4 or 5 people were there. I was there. I was the coordinator for the program. So from that day, we started celebrating the World Newah Day, and today we are celebrating the 4th one. So I'm glad to announce that we have a president of World Newah Organization. Season Shrestha is here with us. I would like to welcome him in this August gathering of World Newah 4th World Newah Day. Please to have his greeting message on behalf of World Newah Organization. And then since I'm supposed to speak in Nepal Bhasa, definitely if I speak in Nepal Bhasa, I will also translate in English language to make sure that you understand what we are going to do. So definitely he's going to give us a message in first Nepal Bhasa, that's our language, and then he's also give some message in English language so that everybody understand what is the message is all about. Please welcome Mr. Season Shrestha, the president of World Newah Organization. So he's from West Coast, joining with us from the East Coast. Season, it's your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sakya and Jojolopa. Namaste and good evening, everybody. And especially, I would like to thank Prajol Gurja, Mr. Prajol Bajacharya and Mr. Daya Sakya to have me say a few words and join at this special event today. I guess there's no point of me speaking in Nepal Bhasa here. I will just speak in English if I may. So you won't have to translate. We will save some time. Yes, as Mr. Daya Sakya said, how the organization was started, right? 2010, and we are in the running in 1 decade now, 10 years. And Mr. Sakya, Daya Sakya was also one of the founding member of this organization, and he served in various capacities as well as vice presidents and senior vice president of this organization. And just recently, last fall, we honor him as one of our patron member. We have 4 patron members, and he is the 4th one to join in this organization as the patron. Unfortunately, we have 2 patron members we just lost not too long ago. One was last year and one was 12 days ago, just recently. So that was very sad moment for us, losing 2 out of 4 patron members. So yes, the organization, this World Newah Organization, was brainstormed by Mr. Sakya and 5 other peoples, 6 total. In 2010, we started to connecting people in 10 different countries. There were about 26 peoples total. So, and finally in 2011, as he said earlier, our historical inaugural celebration or convention was in London, because we are from the ancient town in Nepal, Kathmandu, and London we chose because London is also a historic place. So we thought maybe we should start this, begin these organizations in the historic town. Also, it was easy for people to travel from all over the Europe and the United States, Canada, and also from Nepal. So that's how the organization began. Let me just say a little bit about why World Newah Organization was started. We Newah people, as most of you already know, we are the original inhabitants of Kathmandu Valley, then Nepal, or Nepal Mandala. And we are so rich in culture, heritage, rituals, and all other things like language, literature, arts, architect, ingenuity, you just name it, right? After Prithviraj Saha conquered Nepal in 1769, that was actually 7 years before the United States got, declared independence. 7 years before United States declared independence. Prithviraj Saha from hilly region of western part of Nepal called Gorkha conquered Nepal, took over our land, and ever since our all the progress stalled there, and it's declining day by day every year. So and when Newah people started residing in different parts of the world, currently I believe there are about 30 different 130 different countries in the world, Newah people living across. And for like work, research purposes, and business, and also study. So then people, when they say, move to new place, they we thought we became minority in Nepal, and we are so rich in our culture, and we contributed so much to the culture of the world. You probably already know, in Kathmandu Valley alone, there are 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in such a tiny place. And I just gave, talk about this morning. I read on the news and I talked to people in Nepal. There are 4 more soon to join in that list. So there will be a total of 11 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. I think that is very good thing for us. Our ancestor really created something amazing to which we could contribute to the world. And so world could say, hey, this is not only Newah people or Nepal, this belongs to all the people living in this earth. And so still, because of political nature in Nepal and people who came to Kathmandu Valley and they did not understand what are the valuable things, what is the importance of the creation our ancestor did. So when we moved to different countries, we started forming like guttis, small groups, of like organizations. Even one in this United States, there are 22 Newah organizations, and there are 6 in UK. There are several in Australia, 2 in Canada. There's 1 in Hong Kong, 5 in Middle East, several in India, and there are like probably hundreds in Nepal. So everybody try to do something to preserve and promote our unique cultural heritage, not only for us, but for the generations to come and the whole world to see, to feel. So that's how the organizations were born all over. Then Mr. Sake, the 6 of them, they brainstormed, and 26 of us got together and they said, okay, we need to form one umbrella organization to coordinate with all those organizations in a different part of the world. We need to form an umbrella organization. That's how the World Newah Organization was born. And as he said, we started even first convention in London. Then we had to wait 5 years because of the political unrest in Nepal. Earthquake happened. We were just about to start the new convention in Nepal. We couldn't do. Then finally we decided to do one in Baltimore. The Baltimore was even greater. It was so big. I believe that was the biggest gathering outside Nepal uh, in such kind. At Sheraton Hotel in Baltimore North. 550 people from 12 different countries and 22 United States in the United States came together for that event. So that was, we really thought this is something and we need to do even something greater than that. So because of that, that happened to be on the weekend of Easter and last day of the Saturday. And so we started brainstorming, as Mr. Saki said, in 2017. We talked for a long time, while, and finally we decided to uh, start World Newah Day from 2018. So we went back to Nepal. As he said, he coordinated this event. We also did like a, call it Global Conference for Newah people and inauguration of World Newah Day. So we had 17 people from 17 different countries participate at that event. And if I'm not wrong, I would like to mention and also thank Mr. Prajol Bajacharya, who organized a Charya Nitra at our very first World Newah Day celebration in Kathmandu, Nepal at that time. So that was in 2018. And 2019, we had planned third international convention for our organization and also second World Newah Day. So that became even much bigger than the first one. We gather, all the people gather at the old Darwar's palace area, and we did a cultural rally to the city hall. So it was huge success. It was so big. Uh, as a president, I was really pleased to see that Newah people came together. So unfortunately, last year, due to the global pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, we couldn't do anything. We had to do virtual um, gathering. That was all, we were very fortunate because the technology is available for us to do this. Even we are from, we are residing all over the world. We came together like the one we are doing now. So that's how we celebrated the third World Newah Day. So this year, again, different story. We are still doing same thing. Again, we are fortunate. We have this new technology available in this 21st century for us to get this closer, right? Only place they could have a small gathering was same place we had the cultural rally started in the palace, old palace area in Kathmandu yesterday. They started planning bigger ways, but health department said people cannot gather anymore. So it has to reduce into a really smaller crowd and cut the program into like 3 hours instead of like 6 hours program. So anyway, the World Newah Day, why we started World Newah Day. So as I said, we contributed so much to the culture of this world, and we are still like unknown in this universe, I guess. Only even Newah people don't know about this thing. So we try to bring something new wave awareness in the world about our culture, what our ancestor had contributed to this world, to appreciate them, and also to bring all the people scattered around the world, bring to same same platform to unite everybody, and also to um, promote goodwill and friendship not within only Newah people, also to the other communities. So we wanted to, promote goodwill and friendship within and beyond our community. So that's how we started World Newah Day. This is very good. It's the 4th year. People from the beginning, there are like many organizations around the world planned the events in the way they could. Some places they did picnics. Some places they did like Newah, like movie shows, premiering, screening movies. And some places they had like literature programs, like reciting poems. And some places like conference styles. Some people just did like virtually, like a small way, and family gatherings, like gatherings in a restaurant. That continued until last year, not to 2019, but unfortunately couldn't gather last year. And this year we started doing again big way. So we had our this World Newah Organization plan virtual event this morning. We actually had people from many countries, and there were about 20 some different organizations participated, and some people like who don't did they are not affiliated with any other organization. So it was big success again this morning, and this year it got even a little bit bigger. So in the United States, they're like Florida, Portland, Oregon, Seattle this morning, and in Washington, Baltimore area, of course. There's a San Francisco area, even smaller way, Middle East, the 2 places in Canada. Today, I think actually it's starting now in Edmonton, Canada, Newah Cultural Society of Alberta. 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Toronto. And in Spain, they're posting pictures from all over the world, just like to, express their gratefulness being Newah. We also try to promote same thing, like we have contributed so much, as I said, to this world culture, and we feel very proud of that, and we need to celebrate, right? So why don't we dedicate the every last Saturday of March to celebrate Newah, being Newah? So that's why we started this, simply to being Newah, to celebrate ourselves, dedicating one day to our community, for ourselves, and to appreciate our ancestor for their creation and what they left for us and for the world to share, and to bring goodwill and friendships, and also to unite Newahs to preserve and promote our cultural heritage. I don't know how much time I have. I might have spoken a lot. So I just wanted to go through really quickly. So as I mentioned earlier, Newahs were the original settlement of Nepal, inhabitants of Nepal Mandala, and creators of the historic heritage and civilization of modern Nepal. So Newah culture is rich in language, literature, art, architecture, music, dance, like we just saw, right? Rituals, feasts, festivals, business, and social and religious structures. And I'm sure many of you have been to Nepal, you saw that. Those things, I've been telling people, sharing these stories everywhere. Um, 100 years old, some artifacts in the Western countries, they put in a bulletproof glass and you cannot touch, you just can see them, right? You can see from far away and from distance. In Nepal, they're like thousands of years old, like statues, for instance. In Changunaren, if you go to Changunaren, there's a statue of Vishnu and Garuda that was built in 2nd century. You can still worship and still touch that, still outside. And temple itself was built in 4th to 5th century. the Changunat, and Pasupati and Bodhanath and Swambhunath and so on, right? The patterns that Bodha Bihar and Golden Temple. Um, I also mentioned this morning, like there are like 3 palaces in Kathmandu Valley, Bhaktapur, Patan, and Kathmandu. I just went to visit. I have never been. I grew up in Nepal, but I left a little bit earlier in my age. I left Nepal 32 years ago. I was only 21 years of age at that time. So I spent 60% of my life already outside Nepal. So when I went to Nepal, I got opportunity to go to visit one of the like water spout inside the palace. I thought that should be the 7th wonder of the world. I have never seen such beautiful craftsmanship anywhere in the world. The stone carving with the golden spout.
Susan, could
So,
you make it a little bit shorter because we have another program coming up.
okay, almost done. To give me maybe 30 seconds. So UNESCO heritage sites, and like Princess Vricuti got married with Sangchang Gampo or Tibet. Then uh, she took away culture of Nepal to Tibet. Buddhism especially spread out in Tibet, and have built a temple called Jokhang Temple in Tibet at that time in 7th century. That was then Buddhism spread across the Asia and throughout the world. And also, I would like to mention something. The young artist of Nepal from Patan, actually, he was 19 years of age at that time, named Orniko. So Kublai Khan was emperor, ruler in that part of the world at that time, and they invited our artist to build something for, I think, his queen at that time. And our artists, Nepalese artists, they didn't want to go because it is unknown land and far away, they didn't want to go. So Orniko led the delegation of 80 artists at that time, built temples in Tibet, then went to Beijing. If you have been to Beijing, or if you are planning to visit Beijing in the future, there's a pagoda called White Pagoda in Beijing that was built by our ancestor Orniko, one of the Newah artists. So and at the Sackler Art Gallery here in Washington D.C., they actually have a statue made by Orniko in 1269, I believe. I don't remember exact date, but early 13th century, made of lacquer. It's a made by Orniko, artist Orniko of Nepal in China. So you can go visit here when you have opportunity. So thank you anyway. Sorry, I'm going a little bit extra time. Um, I just wanted to mention you, this is what we created, our ancestors created. That's what we are trying to preserve and protect for everybody. So as a Newah, I think we felt we compelled to do that. So our government is too busy. They have their own problems. Yes, UNESCO said it belongs to the people of the world, but still, we felt like it is our duty. So we need to come together and to preserve and promote our cultural heritage and so on. And that's where we started this World Newah Day, and it's getting great. And you could celebrate this in any way you can. There's no rules to celebrate it. This is like just like celebrating Independence Day, or like New Year's Day. We can just do like gather with friends and family, or just family, or bigger events, however you can, but trying to dedicate this day for Newah cause. And so for saying that, thank you so much, and great to see you all. And thank you, Mr. Sake and Prozilju, for giving me this opportunity to say few things, a few words. And if I get opportunity in the future, maybe we'll meet in person and we discuss or talk more about this. And thank you. Have a great evening.
May I unmute? May I unmute?
I was not about to I always do that. Thank you, Susan Ji. This is great information you have delivered to all our invited guests in this gathering of fourth World Newah Day. I'm going to invite now Josh. Are you ready, Josh, to do the presentation of a Jai Namo Shree presentation? That will be our next item. He's going to do the Jai Namo Shree song. That song is very, very popular during the month of Gunla. That is in July and August. So every single day we visit the Swayambhunatha temple. So when we visit the Swayambhunatha temple, this song is kind of like a chant all the time. And one of the popular Buddhist song in Newah language. And then I would like to request Josh, let's see, Proto, right? So Josh Proto to do the chanting in, I think you're doing the Newah language, right? Newah, singing in the Newah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So please welcome Josh to chant the Jai Namo Shree song in Newah.
Jai Namo Shree Buddha Bhagavana Lumbini Panasa Eka Brahmana Babuyeka Sarasvati Vasalayeka Alakapuraya Juju Kuberana Danedra Byalayeka Bijeka Vayudeva Doja Boyaka Agni Deva Dupatanaka Varunanama Nagarjana Jaladara Bayeka Bijeka Mahadeva Dhamarutayeka Narayana Samkapuyeka Yamarajana Danda Joyekao Lanchinaka Bijeka Indrana Chatra Kuyeka Bichugana Cholam Gayeka Akasana Swana Wogayeka Anandrasana Bijeka Naritya Ganakara Dakoloka Sahitana Sesanagaye Asa Bijenao Puja Paye Bijeka Banagajaratna Sala Sri Surendra Maharaja Lakamanata Jana Guru Yake Sara Ana Jai Namo Sri Buddha Bhagavana Lumbini Bhasana Eka.
Thank you, Josh. So this song is dedicated to the Lord Buddha when he enlightened in the Bodh Gaya, and he was visiting his birthplace, Lumbini. So when he visited Lumbini, at the time all the divine beings kind of followed him. So the song describes about who did the carpeting and who did the water, dropping water, and who's kind of all these things are kind of described in this song. So at the very end, it says Bana Gaza Ratna Sala. So this is how the Newah people mention the date of writing that song. So in the Surendra Maharaj's time, the Bana Gaza Ratna Sala. So Bana is 1 and 7, and then Ratna is 9. So that's how we kind of dedicate the date of the song. This is how it goes. Now the next item, we are going to do a poem by Nabina Sakya. So she's our one of the attendant of the Dharani is the attendant. So Nabina Sakya, she's going to present us the poem. I believe it was composed by herself. So Nabina, is your floor. Go ahead and present your kavita, please, poem. And after that, we will to invite World Newah Organization America's President Eugene Sakya after this.
Wait, I can see to Nabina.
Jojalapa,
Wait,
good
wait,
evening to everybody.
wait for a second.
Wait for a second. Go ahead, Prajal.
Yeah, I'm just going to find the heart. So, okay.
Is there anything wrong?
Okay, well, no, I couldn't find a heart. In the hard time to find heart. Nabina.
Are you going to screen share, Prajal?
Yeah. Okay. I found it. Because sometimes I
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jojalapa, good evening to everybody. I am Nabina Sakya. I am reciting a poem today. The title of my poem is My Three Friends. But I wrote this poem a long time ago, and when this Fourth World Newah Day was celebrating today, so I would like to recite, I want to recite this poem. The title of my poem is My Three Friends. One fine morning, I woke up very early with a heavy heart, experiencing darkness everywhere. Then suddenly I felt brightness all over. I was confronted with my three friends, Sheila, Samadhi, and Pragya. I decided to hang out with them every day. Sheila tells me about right conduct and morality. Samadhi teaches me about meditative consciousness and concentration. Pragya makes me learn more about wisdom. The mind wanders here and there. The mind wanders here and there, witnessing the mind and body's rise and fall. Wisdom will blossom and shine forever. Wisdom will blossom and shine forever. I will always meet you, my friends, every day. I will always meet you, my friends, every day. I will not insult you. I will not betray you. I will not hate you. I will not discriminate between you. I will grasp you all my life. I will grasp you all my life. I will embody you every day. I will embody you every day. I will remember you, my three friends. I will remember you, my three friends, every day. I will remember you, my friends. I will remember you, our three friends. I will remember our three friends. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to recite a short poem which I wrote a long time ago, and I got the chance to read this today. Thank you for all. Thank you and congratulate in this 4th World Newah Day. Thank you. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, Navina. So 3 friends we always remember according to her. So definitely the Newah people not only write the poem in Newah language, and we also noticed that, we also write the poem in English language as also the other languages too. So thank you. Now I would like to invite the Newah organization in America. There's another organization in America which is based in Washington, D.C. So the Newah America President, Eugene Sake, to give a greeting message to this gathering for 2 minutes, please. Make it as short as possible. If you would like to speak in Nepal Bhasa, that's fine, or in English, no problem. So it's your choice. Thank you very much. So please welcome Yegyaman Shakya. So he's also a charge dancer, definitely a well-known person, and the president of Newah Organization of America based in Washington, D.C. Floor is yours, Yegyamanji.
Jojolopa, Sakasta, Suba Desnazana, Pintuna Desnazana, G Newah Organization of America, Washington, D.C., Nayo Baju, Egiman Sake, Tong Prajul Bajasari Gurju, G Nritya Mandap, Mahabir Pakin, Ale G Daya Sake Ju Pakin, Jita, Tong to Newah, Newah, Dia, Lustai. Chi hakachu chagu nochu de bita jita part bia di guli wake up in the yoko suba desna zona Halinyawa di thong chisa Halinyang na tani mane na waya song gudu tha thase thi dese chana thathapni tarika thong Halinyawa di mane na waya song lastai ji sakasita ji nyawa dia nyawa tajilaji nyawa bhasa Nepal bhasa ale jigo sanskar sanskriti dakko yo lagi jibi ekko nyani laguli jita dakshi ji thata pinha jigo tho kala sanskriti lagi gaurav taki magu ji taya chunu gudu Nepal dena pini oyana jisa thagu tajila jita nyani yaka chuni ma khongu khana jita taskan leta phai ji jisa thamcho binda ji Newah tadga ma khushi Newah pinina chobinda dan jisa tho jigo tajilaji bhasa sanskar sena kena un phata cha acha jita banglai taigo ji mana tuna chana we sandarbhe jisa thana thi dese thi thase thathagu संस्था त स्थापना yana jisa thathagu पाखे फुगु चागु तरिका jisa Thanso pinta shenyu masteta shenyu kenyu yana waya gudu we sandarbhe jisa thana Washington DC na yaku कार्यक्रम ta jisa yana waya gudu Nepal pine dakle napa yenya puni yatani Nepal pine dakle napa Newah Organization of America e Surya guka athongkne waya halinyang na chobin tani nyenya puni yatani thathagu tarika tani mane yagu chalan yana hengudu wo de yo jigu ji Newah ta nyathai wasa nyathai chonsa ji thagu tajilaji ane tani jisa tani utpati ane tani jisa prachar prasari ane chana tani jigu tajilaji ta ekku nyani yanki ji Newah te chau kartabye ale ji Newah te chau fulagu chau to banglagu pachhiya again ji Newah nyathai chonsa na jisa thagu tajilaji ta nyani ki ma te go Pasenti jugo thanyu chicha hako no chu thane ko taki yeko suba sakista pintuna.
Thank you, Yegimanju. So I just like to summarize a little bit in English what he just said that. Being a president of World Newah Organization in America, so a lot of activities are happening in Washington, D.C., getting the information from Nepal and then bringing it over to United States. And then there are lots of organizations. They have chapters in New England and also in the Washington, Seattle, Washington State, and also in Florida and different part of the other United States of America. So definitely all the activities, what is going on under the Newah Organization in America, so it's going to be growing every year. And then definitely in a couple of years ago, they have celebrated Yaya Puni. Yaya Puni is the festival of light in Kathmandu. Is called Kathmandu Festival. So, and the Kumari Festival is also being celebrated in United States under the World Newah Organization of America. So definitely all these things happening under the leadership of the Newah Organization of America, and then we are very proud of it. It has to be contributed to the oncoming the new generation. So they definitely needs to learn and they'll see. So we can continue to do the our heritage, continue to pass on to the new generation. So all these things were put into the message. Thank you, Yagimanji, for the great information regarding your organization and also giving a greeting to our this August gathering of all the people from part of the world. Now I would like to invite definitely another group is come from the Eugene, Oregon. So Eugene is from Portland, about 2 hours in drive and 105 miles away. There's also Newah people living in that area. So hopefully we will have a chance to visit one more time and do all these things, activities. So we have invited the whole family, the Vajracharya family. They live in Eugene, Oregon, and certainly there's a girl called, her name is Lida, and she was born in United States. So I would like to see how much she learned being born in United States and then being born in Vajracharya family, whether she's keeping the Newah heritage in her life or not. So let's see what she has to give us a presentation. Kalina, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Juguna Selina Bhattacharya, ji America ya Oregon Raje Chanachana, ji Chimpe Don Tata Ale ji Chagu class Banatana, ji Nepal Bhasa Bati Kanasa, ju Adi Nepal Kala Bala Yana, Ale Tara di Banaka Kala Masani, Tonkane ji Banaka Kana Seki Couton du ale e Jimmy Aji Ditashna Bijago du Tong Ji Jintaka wo Abu Tapu Newa Mie Yenke ale Tong Mie Yomna Tong Wila Kane Wila ale To Me Seka Nepal Bhasa Sekita Opula Ashadu Pinto To Ne Ye Suba.
All right.
Could you translate in the way how what just said, just for a couple of minutes, please?
Okay. Hi, I'm Selina Bhattacharya. I'm from Eugene, Oregon, and I am 14. I'm in 8th grade, and I speak a little bit of Newari from talking with my grandmother, and I'm not that good yet, but now I want to learn more, and my grandma is teaching me. So yeah, today my sister, my dad, and I are going to be playing a song called Tomwela Kanewela, and I hope you enjoy.
All
Thank you.
Thank you.
Test. Good.
Thank you, Sashindra, Selina, and I see so Rama. Now I would like to invite Ma in the screen, please. So the next item, what I put together in the plan is to ask a senior most person in Newah community. So we have invited two people here. One is Amrit Bajacharya from Eugene, Oregon, and also Devi Lakshmi Maharjan from Portland. Both of them have already completed the Junko celebration. So that means in Newah culture, the Junko is one of the auspicious celebration in life. From birth to death, there are several stages of celebration. So, and Amit Bajacharya, I would like to ask them the couple of questions, how they respond being in America and then being a Newah person. What is they thinking about, a couple of things I would like to know from them. First of all, declare Napa, my the Josolopa, develops me Maharjan wa, G Amit Chuza, she's a mute Jatonga, who has unmute Payan Bimalga. Mute, Diwakar Maharjan, mute, okay. Wake up in the thing. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions to them. So what they think about this World Newah Day celebration and how their concept, their thinking, their being in America and being in Newah. So declare Naplaga Jin Amrit my the jeans question Jin Yasan. GP Su, GP Su, GP America Zona, GP Su, GP Su Chop New Bizarre. So I asked her question that who are we? So the response for the question is we are the Newah. Ole America sonablewa Nepal sonablewa Jipin saying Gezia chi Newah ga saying Tapai Zong. Piana Suya saying Newah Zongchi.
Jipin America Sonsano Newayo Toji Ajit the Kong on a Tonati son. Ejiachi Newah some dead Yatanaka. Newah Panketona.
So her response was, who are we? Being in America, what makes us Newah? So the answer for that question, so she said that even though we live in the United States, we are following the cultural and tradition and everything. So that makes proud of being a Newah. So that was her response. So I'm going to ask the same question to Devi Lakshmi Maharjan, so who lives in Portland. So she's also have completed the 2 times Zonko in her life. Devi Lakshmi Ma Chitana Jin Toya Chen Yasa Nina Tona, GP America Tona Chen GP Suten Zong Jiu Bizaran Sweble. GP Suka Ten Zong.
这边你话清楚，
才记得对牛娃个道理噻。
俺你话啥？基本这边子俺你话啥个？
后来为了这个么可还那没有那大夫去牛娃个头了一阵几个真没有足温度几个。
这是个那个你个马来亚嘛，这么真的哎，这知道你话的呀，到个。
Okay, the same question I asked to her, she responded that we the Newah people, we work in a field. We work in a field. We are the Maharjan people, we work in a field. Then how make it our specifically the Newah people? So that's why he said, oh, we celebrate lots of celebration. We have festivals and everything. So even though we live in the United States, we do the celebration of the Newah festivities as also the cooking and then all kinds of food. This makes all people like Newah. So these are the responses. Just before we have a US born 14 years old child, so who is continuing to follow the Newah tradition. And the person, 2 people who are senior most people, they were born in Nepal but living in the United States, how to maintain the Newah heritage in their life. So that was their response. Chiksan say G might in applicant, ma announce unmute Yamala Maida. So Sindra, please unmute. Ale mana चाहिँ थना आछो नेवा तेउ जिप दैनिक चाहिँ जय रुपैयाँ चाहिँ छुछु याना चाहिँ what I doesn't like जिन्दगी बा चाहिँ यहाँ छुन दुला कनि उपति नेवा यो हिसाबमा चाहिँ
Đúng chị à nhập lên đây ya mau đến chơi ya stone như thế ya upati puja ara dula pat dula ya no we neo pokon chị những như thằng puja ka puja mau yan chọn được cả.
So I was asking a question to her, what would you do every day being a Newah? The response to that question, what she said was, oh, we do the puja every day. We do the chanting every day. We cook the food how we like it as a Newah food. And this is how the daily life is going on. That makes us proud of being a Newah. So that's what it is. So same question I'm going to ask to Devi Lakshmi Maharjan. So what she said. Devi Lakshmi Ma, she at Nepal in America, Chana do होला. At Ethan Nepal America, Chana, Nini, Newah is up on the Tutu India. What's got it?
You need to the coin as a manga. Put out the one dozen put out the Atonaguna Pujata Muro, for one Malena, for one time the shield, but near out.
Okay. So the response from her side is what is we do the puja at home. So we don't have a temple, I mean, like going out, like other so Sila Prasana, these things she does all the time. So this is the continuation, even though she lives in the United States. So definitely both senior most respective people, they have already completed the Zonko and then they are following the same tradition. Yoko Subay Chipin Nimashitana, so Yoko Subay, where content Biodo. So this is how the tradition, Newah tradition is continuing from the newborn or the born in the United States and also the people who live here as a continuation of all Newah. So this is our tradition. So thank you. I'm glad to thank you both. Okay, so let's see, now we move on to another item. So definitely a poem. I was told by Prozol that he also has written a poem. So I would like to hear the poem written by Prozol, and then he's going to recite the poem in Nepal Bhasa, as well as also translated into English. Prozol, it is your turn, please.
I wrote it just special for this occasion. So take it out. So this, I made it just for this World Newah celebrations. So my poem's name is, I just want to be motivate the people in a young generations. So that's why I wrote it this. My poem's title is called Hey Pasapi, that means, oh dear my friend. So I will be read the 4 paragraph and I will be translating in between there so you can hear. Nyalang Chakemala he Portland Basita, Chi Newah Day Newah Sanskriti, Makia Ninti, Bidesi Wea, Bidesi Pana, Chi Buluhu, Juyawangu Jinkana, Chigu Dharma Sanskriti Kala, Buluhu, Tanawangu Jinkana. So wake up all the Portland peoples. Let's celebrate with the Newah World Organization or Newah's organizations to save our heritage of Nepali art and culture. And when we come to America, we slowly dissolving our cultures and art and heritage. So and then I always see that what's happening and it's slowly dissolving. Wake up to get understanding this art and culture. Hey Pasapi, oh my dear friend. Hazaron barso niche chi purkha pisan stapna yanatago de Nepal dharma sanskriti kalayata chigu purkha malinkala dhasa megu purkha linkugu gate chigu parichan gate jigu gate. If we don't, so thousands of years it's been carried on to our generation to generation with this art and culture of Nepal. If we don't preserve in this lifetimes, in this our generations, who's going to be next generation, how they're going to be preserve this, and what will be happening after that? It will be gati jigu khai, gati paichan jigu khai. How is going to be known other people with this next generation? Hey Pasapi, oh dear my friend. Karuna Maitri Mudita Apecha Jago Chigu to Sanskriti Yata Chigu Bhabi Santan Pisam Malinkala Dhasa Chi Parche Ganadai Chi Kushi Juya Gati Maguji Jita Jisan Head Tekariana Maguji. With compassion, loving kindness, joy and happiness, and equality, which all it's in this culture. If we didn't use in this our generations, you can pass on to the other generations, then how you going to survive with this art and culture? Chigupurga, how we can recognize ourselves, how we can keep the happiness in ourselves. And it will be so sad when come to the other generation, you will be so sad. Beware with this. Hey Pasapi, oh my dear friend. Purkoli chi ajupi siddha mahasiddha juya wongu thohe karuna maitun karuna murita apecha yana kha yedi jisan to lomankalatasa chigu babishye gana unigu kha gate jigu kha gate yana chi parse bigu kha. Our ancestor is being lots of ancestors became Siddha and Mahasiddha, means the great enlightenments and liberations because of this compassion, kindness, and wisdoms and equality. If we don't preserve with this in the present moment or present within our generation, and what will be happening in the future, and what would be happen with this, and how we're going to be in future, who will be, we are, to say this thing, so we'll be lost in this part. Hey Pasapi, oh my dear. Dukkaya Pumuri Chacha Hiligu Khasa Yanaju Bideshi Karmata Diva Kamena Kushi Jigu Khasa Kameya Pasapi Jigu Dhagu Tsumaru Bideshi Karma Bideshi Bigashi He Juyaso. So if you want to be suffer and then move into the suffer way and getting all the craziness of life, like the Western life or Western culture, then if you want to make money as the Western culture, and then I don't have anything to say those people who's making money, and if you want to be be in the Western ways. I don't have anything to say. Be in the Westerns. He pasapi. Oh, my dear friend. Kushi daigu mania gyanaka twiki pasapi to gyanayata. So kushi means joyness is the mind's wisdom of minds. So think about the wisdom of a mind. So I made it this like the 5 wisdoms in here. Adas gyana bi gate kha athe e chigu maniata samanta gyana bi chi dakko chamahe khataka subi suddha dharma dhatu bi satya degu chuka pratichana gyana bi the chi tara chida sumorutaka krityana sthana gyana bi chi dhairi dharana yagu lapu gate kha. So first, adasana jnana, that means the with making the mirror like a clear. It's give you the clear minds and a clear understanding. Samatha jnana, it's the equality to give you. Subhisuddha jnana, it's truthness, it's a giving. Pratichana jnana, it's give you how you see. There's no discriminations in the Pratisna Jnana, and Krityana Jnana is give you the more patience and be in a patience. He pasapi, oh my dear friend. Twehe Jnanayata Chintan Mananyana Pragyaya Lapi Jigu So Pragya Daigu Kangu Ninigu Bostuyata He Dairi Dharanyana Twikigu Pragya Ka Twehe Pragya Jnana Ha Chinyapami Bisu Yanka Najagu Ka Twehe Purkoli Sampatiyata Lomanke Mojula He Pasapi. So the whatever we have a 5 knowledge, if you're understanding the 5 knowledge, it can be turning into a wisdom. Those wisdoms are like what you see, what you see and what you hear. If you analyze and make it meaningful for your life, then that is the wisdom is. And listen that to wisdom, and because of that wisdoms, we are known in Nepal. It's thousands of years. It's been keeping there because that's why the wisdoms we have. So that's why also this is our treasure, and this is our money, values of the money. So let you know all my friend, all my dear friend. Chigu he dharma sanskriti jnana wo pragya yana videsi vidwan jyawangu chungudo thohe pragya jnana kaya guma university professor no jya chungudo jnana pragya yedi chike modula dhasa dasi jui sadaya lagi. So because of this wisdoms and knowledge, lots of people getting into the ways, make more wisdoms and knowledge, and who also teach in the university as a professor with teachings with our knowledge and the wisdom. So if we don't follow with the wisdoms and knowledge, we always be a slave in this planet. So be in this the path, in this our life basically. He pasapi, oh my dear friend. Twiki chigu nepade daigu name palanyana degugu desaka twehe name palanyana chi kushi samritti jya mana chungugu ka twehe kushi samritti yata nirantari yagu kasa chigu kala sanskriti was sanskari yata twiki guswa. The Nepal is a country. It's known as Nepala, Nemapalana, who is follow with the rule and regulations. Because of the rule and regulations who follow in Nepal, who live in Nepal, that's why they are the happy, that's why they are the joyness in their life. If we lose with this, if we don't have that way, where we can find the happiness. The happiness is to find, we need to follow with the art and culture and heritage. That's the way we can be happy. In the final chanting, He pasapi, oh my dear. Newah Day chi thong thana hanachana thohe kala sanskar sanskriti makita thohe kala sanskar sanskriti he bi chita pragya jnanya sagara thohe kala sanskar sanskriti chi aju pinigun he taigu gui wawa pasapin dakumuna Newah Day chadja dhaketawa. So this one is like a Newah Day. We are celebrating this Newah Day because we have so rich in our cultures and art and heritage. It's because of that art and culture, it's turning into wisdoms and knowledge. It's like oceans of the wisdom and knowledge, never ending with this wisdom and knowledge. So because if we don't, if we preserving with this, I mean, that's the slangs in Nepal they use, Natego, means that if you do good things, you will be honored to our ancestor that they call Natego. It's a slang language. So, and then come everyone, join together to celebrate the Newah Day, to joyfully celebrate the Newah Day. Thank you very much for.
Wow, look at, I never heard that he can also write the poem. Definitely now I'm gonna ask him all the time whenever he shows up, please give me a poem, please give me a poem. So Prajwal, please ready to write more and more poems. So we will enjoy your poems for the encouragement and all these things. So definitely very good.
Okay, thank you.
The next item now, I would like to, whether the Chef Bikram is ready or not. Before that, I would like to ask Gabe. Gabe is here. Gabe has a small presentation. Prajwal, is Gabe here?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gabe is going to do the chanting of Dasha-par-mitaa for a few minutes. And then after that, please, Bikram Vaidya is going to do the presentation of the Newah cuisine to make you all mouth watery. Even though it's in a Zoom, so he's gonna make a very mouth watery food later on. First, I would like to invite Gabe. Go ahead, Gabe, it's your floor.
Hello, my name is Gabriel and I'm one of Prajwal's students and I'm going to lead the chant with for Dasha-par-mitaa. Dana balena shamudgata Buddha, Dana bala digatana rasimha, Dana bala shamchashru yati shabdam, Karunika Shepurem Prabhishantam Shila Balena Shamudgata Buddha Shila Baladigatana Rasimha Shila Bala Shamchashru Yati Shabdam Karunika Shepurem Prabhishantam Shanti balena samagata Buddha, Shanti bala digatana rasimha, Shanti bala shanchashruyati shabdam, Karunika shepurem prabhishantam. Virya balena shamudgata Buddha, Virya bala digatana rasimha, Virya bala shamchashruyati shabdam, Karunika shepurem prabhishantam. Dhyana balena samudgata Buddha, Dhyana bala digatana rasimha, Dhyana bala shamchashruyati shabdam, Karunika shepurem prabhishantam. Pranya balena samudgata Buddha, Pranya bala digatana rasimha, Pranya bala digatpalashan shashruyati shabdam, Karunika shepurem prabhishantam. Bala balena samudgata Buddha, Bala bala digatana rasimha, Bala bala shanchashruyati shabdam, Karunika shepurem prabhishantam. Upaye balena samudgata Buddha, Upaye bala digatana rasimha, Upaye bala shanchashruyati shabdam, Karunika shepurem prabhishantam. Pranadibalena samudgata Buddha, Pranadibala digatana rasimha, Pranadibala shanchashruyati shabdam, Karunika shepurem prabhishantam. Jnana balena shamadgata Buddha, Jnana baladhigatana rasimha, Jnana balasham chashruyati shabdam, Karunika shempurim prabhishantam.
Thank you, Josh. Gabe. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, so we are going to do the presentation by Chef Bikram Baide on the Newah cuisine. And then after that, please, next one is for Professor Linda Iltis from Seattle, Washington. Bikram, it's your turn. Go ahead and make your presentation.
Okay. Can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can also share the screen, so.
Rizzo? All right.
You can
Lopa.
Go to the green button, share screen.
Hold on. Got it? Oh, I can't. Hold on. Can we just?
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Can you see now?
We can see, yeah, no voice.
Okay. I think I'm having some issue. Can I just talk from here like this?
If you feel comfortable that way, that's fine.
Okay, let's just do this way, okay? And then I will show you the video because it won't translate otherwise. All right. Okay. Hi everyone. Jojo Lopa, namaste and good evening. My name is Bikram and I'm culinary instructor and I have been teaching this cooking for the past 20 years. First of all, happy 4th World Newah's Day, and thank you Jaya and Prajolju for invitation, and this is really wonderful. Today I will be talking about classical Newari dish called chatamari, and it is a plain rice crepe. So first I will explain about the dish. That's why I could not show you the videos right away. So then I have a pre-recorded video, then I will show you that videos. So first of all, I wanted to explain what is chatamari is, okay? So that is very important part. So in the classical Newari, chatam bhajan means the frying pan. I believe that frying pan is a flat frying pan which you cook food quick food. So basically, chatamari may be named after the pan. I think that's what that is. Chata means quick food. So and then it is really fast. It is very fast cooked. So that's why I think that is named after that. Chatamari is. Mari means the bread. So in Newari spiritual context, chatamari represents the full moon. According to our Guruji, in a Newari spiritual, particularly bread, it must be given to during the special ceremonies such as Dev Puja, we call Siti Nakhas and Gutis and a lot of places like that. During Asantol, in where I grew up in Kathmandu, we welcome spring by, especially it's happening in a couple of weeks. We throw the chatamari from the rooftop, and it's to celebrate and welcoming to the Annapurna temple. So it is very, very fun watching that because I grew up in Asantol, and that's why. During another special occasion, considering temple, bucket full of chatamari throws from the gazur on the top. That happened in actually on a Bihar too, that time when they celebrated. And chatamari resembled actually the chatamari. The origin of chatamari, I believe that it is resembled to dosa from South India. So it's a historian, according to the food historians, dosa originated in Karnataka. So it's dated back to the 1st century. So later it spread toward north during the Chola Empire, around 10th century to 15th century. That's, I believe that time that all the food cultures came up north and to our part of the world. And we created our one style of chatamari. So that's why chatamari is very unique and it is very special and it's all about a rice, celebration of rice. And some people, I'm going to explain more about this. I'm going to share the screen, then I'll show you how this is. The benefit about this eating chatamari is not just it's a carbohydrate and it's fast cooking, and also sometimes people add urud dal, the black dal, so that works as a binding, and also it is a combination of urud dal and rice combined together. It's a full protein, so that's why I think it is a really health benefit too. On top of that, I will explain you more about how we do a topping, and it's not just a plain chatamari. It's you can put a vegetable dish or meat dish, or you can do other like we do a Day, and I was talking about putting a chocolate. I did it usually traditionally. We do a little bit of a jaggery sakha we call. It's a very classical, especially during the Deo Puja, so kids will enjoy eating that. So this is a very unique kind of dish where we can try anywhere. So let's share my screen, and then I'll show you what I'm. All right. The course important. Hey, Dada, can you see?
Yes.
Okay,
I can hear too.
Okay, good. Indian story na nyaru where they are jeje deki den tuke organic stone ground jaki ha to deki bele they simply they ato jaki they fine dream yoga tuke they but the course dream to jaki. All right, here you go. What I'm saying is there are the rice flour is a key ingredients to make a chatamari. So rice flour and water, basically that's how you make it, this stuff. So, but the rice flour should be stone ground, and you cannot just buy a whatever flour. It should not be fine. It should be a little bit coarse. If you are living in America, you have I love those Bob red mill. And then if you can buy it in the Indian store too, but just buy a little bit of coarse one, not a fine, like in a Vietnamese Asian market, we can find a really fine one. That won't work. It will just get disaster. So whenever you make any kind of flour items, whether rice flour or any other wheat flours, I highly recommend to shift because it must have some sort of kind of we don't know. In Nepal, it is very traditional to do it because there might be a stone or sometimes very hard grain items. So it's better to sieve.
그게 simply thing, 쉐마라네. 그 law 유ting एकदमै हो ಶ್ಯಾಮದ. 우리 law 때려. 구 자기 चाहिँ यो कपको दशंगा गु जाकी चाहिँ यो कपको भजिता अपोटेमा लेखला.
So when you cook or making this rice batter, basically I'm making a batter. So adding water is an important part, and how much you add, it all depends on the kind of rice you are making. Rice flour, we call it taichini, which is a short grain rice. That flour made out of short grain rice takes more because it's more starchy versus a basmati rice. It has a less starch. You have to look at it, how much it contains.
우리 때만 exactly thing 대시 되고 소대지 lot everything 나네 홍고 고아 홍모대야 어디서 룸룸 나오 고아로던 다르데 바나다 나 알레 뭐줄래 리저스에 추지라니 뭐 start 뭐 자기로 start 거 whenever binding thing 바오도 되니까 뭐지야 돼 그역급에 자기지 러닝 때야스에 am 지금도 컨퓨터에서 두개 measurement यासँग also चाहिँ ठुके कया एक कप छाकको एक कप कया एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट हो हाम्रो ल न भरेर टेम जो ठुके चाहिँ ल टेबले चाहिँ बिस्तारै ल तया ठुके चाहिँ भजन ल तया संख्यामा हुँदा ल.
So this part is the most important when you make a batter. A lot of people just pour the water, and I have seen a lot of YouTube videos. They have just poured things and then just started whipping. The consistency is not come out properly because I have experimented many times with many different temperature water. So the water temperature is important. I will highly recommend warm water is the best, not a hot water, not a cold water, because the result is very different. The batter consistency completely comes out changed because it's just like any baking and pastry. It's a work of science, it's a art. Cooking. So when you add water, you add gradually, very little at a time, because the rice will start observing, and then you add as you need it. It's not like a flour batter. This is a rice batter. It's very different.
तर 제게 터는 내ው 라동 뭐 마셔야 돼. 이제하고 어떻게 웨스카야노 정도로 알레 버티도 안 하면 또
So in Nepal, traditionally, our mothers and grandmothers, they pour water and they use a hand. So I'm not using my hand, I'm using whisk. So it's perfectly fine. It's just, this is how you do it.
구 자기가 역kop가 역kop자기가 역kop어 되기도 바들 되기도 very important.
Ratio is very important. 1 cup to 1 cup I begin with, and then if I needed more, then I will add gradually.
내역부터 이제 커서 돼. 고블링 역kop고 버티자 조금 치대 말리 후가. 무기제 고대야마 그라 좀 자기 되길래.
You should be you need to whip this thing for 2 to 3 minutes actually when you do this process, because otherwise it batter just gets not good.
lumps today war china tong de ha ukite jai mukke de jiso odeyana de likama gala.
The key is to free from any kind of lumps, watch that and then start whipping.
어떻게 럼링 주의하면서 매우 투게 수요래 해나 스티키 주의마다 그 버리자데 एकदमै सुयोले मेरो तरिका से सुल्लो बनाते
Batter should be smooth. It shouldn't be thick. It should not be thin. Otherwise, it would not work. So it should be stick in your finger.
अरू म नासा चाहिँ हैन या चटामरी देख त स्वयं खाबी 춘제 제 चटामरी देख्ले छौ जे प्लेन चटामरी सादा चटामरी देख्ले भटी चाहिँ थिन जो चाहिँ अहिले जे न्यू स्टफिङ जस्तै जे लाटेयादेखि वो चाहिँ भुजिटेयादेखि आलुटेयादेखि वो टपिङ खेतेयादेखि वो न्याउनो देखेपछि चाहिँ भटिचा चाहिँ खाटुसँग छु मल्ले म पाएको
So when you make a batter, there are two versions. One is a plain rice chatamari, which is you just make a little thinner batter. I mean, but if you want to do like a pizza style with a stuffing on the top, I recommend to do a little thicker batter.
Batter भटिचा खाटो लासा उके थिकनेस नभई उके चाहिँ टपिङ टेबले एकदमै बाले तो तर जिस सादा देखिएको छ भटिचा थिन जुसा चाहिँ छुनमा बाले आथो जी तो ब्याटरी चाहिँ 2 घण्टा चाहिँ रेस्ट या अहिले 2 घण्टा रेस्ट याले भन्छ लसावे होला लसावे चाहिँ बाले चटामरी देखेबले अथवा एकदमै ध्यानपूर्वक यामा चीज खातो अथे आ छक्लौटो याले क्रैक जे होला वो ज्या चाहिँ आ जे 2 घण्टा लेपा रेस्ट या चाहिँ हाले हाले के
So you have to rest for 2 hours if you don't rest 2 hours batter. So you can leave it in a room temperature. Sometimes people say keep it in a cold, but you really don't need it. Room temperature is perfect. So it prevents from it'll give a really nice binding, and also it won't prevent from cracking. So I'm going to rest 2 hours. It's been 2 hours. So before you start cooking, you have to decide what kind of topping you guys want it. So you make it a topping ahead again, and then keep it outside, and then you can start working on it.
Beans, recipe master जो website है जायसा ना vikrambaiti.com में थे ओके जो recipe दो सोचे जे लाडू तो लाते जे मोमो दे दुंदे को वे किसी में देखते दो उन्हें जे vikrambaiti.com में देखते दो अले तो जे आलू का आलू ला किसी को ताना तो boil नहीं था बट इधर चीज़ पे इधर क्योंकि मेरे मसाला पे भी सा चिकनी युवा तक था और क्योंकि जो आते हैं vegetarian लोग
So if you guys wanted to make this particular stuffing, you can go to my website vikram.baite.com. So there's the recipes. You can pull it out. Those meat is made out of momo filling. You guys can make anything you want it. So there's the potatoes. You can just cut small pieces of boiled potato, cut it into small pieces and boil it, and that's simple, and couple egg. This is amazing for your family gathering. It's just really, really fun. Rather than you don't need a pizza oven. That's the best part about this cooking. So that pan is chata bhajan. That's that basically griddle flat one. That's an ancient way of cooking food in old days. This is how you do it.
Most important चीज चाहिँ छ भने को तावा पाके बेला चाहिँ ठेक्क लाते बेला चाहिँ वो 1 इंच 2 इंच चाहिँ हिट वे मागा वो चाहिँ एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट सेकेन्ड चाहिँ we heat we turn down in the we reduce in this one. We heat reduce as a lock at this one.
So when you cook this food, I will recommend to start with a high heat, and then once it is high heat, the best way to do check is put your hand, not touch it, but just a couple of inches above the pan, and then fill it. Once you get the heat up, then you can pour a little bit of, turn it down to medium low, and then spread a little bit of water so that will cool it down the temperature, and also it shows that your pan is hot and sizzling, so it won't stick your batter. And then I will show you, and then the process. It should be evaporated. So you just put a little bit of oil, rub it really quick. So traditionally in our culture, first thing we cook is always give to the deities, so a spiritual way. So especially Chatamari, it's very important to first one they make it is for a Diyat, how we call. So you don't have to have that lid because that's a traditional lid, but yeah, that's a tajin from Tajin. But in Nepal also we have exactly same kind of cover. But you can do any kind of whatever you guys have it at home, doesn't matter. That will only take a couple minutes to cook it. And in 1 minute, see, it should be crispy on the back. Nice, crispy.
Brown color. पहिला बालको प्यावा के मो वो छ टेस्ट या लागि न खाना पनि हामीले खायो so tasting या लागि.
So I'm showing next one is top with a topping.
ठुल चटामले देखेको चाहिँ अझै भजा टपिङ तयार देखे ला भजा तयार ल यहाँ छु ठिकै भजा भटी.
So you add a little bit of, just like in making pizza, whatever filling you guys wanted to put it. Topping.
Because I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah. I will cook it for you, Dai. Here you go. This takes about 6 to 7 minutes. Every 2-3 minutes, you like about then you pull it out and then just gently. This is the all right. So this is the chatamari. Thank you very much, everyone, and I hope you guys will cook it at home and enjoy. If you need a recipe, like I said, you can go to bikrambaidi.com. I'm going to post it, this particular recipe. So thank you, Dai. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Welcome. Okay, thank you, Bikram, Chef Bikram. So definitely, this is how the Newah heritage is so rich in every aspect of the life. From ritual, from literature, language, culture, food, tradition, the drinking wine, beer, everything. So we are so much, dedicated to make it our civilization alive. Thank you, Bikram. I definitely made you made me hungry of, having one pan right in my hand. So
you're welcome. All right.
That's not
Hope
possible.
everybody enjoy. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. definitely, it's very, and thank you for your skill and all these things happening from your side. So we are also, trying to establish the Newah cuisine as an international cuisine. So like a French cuisine, American cuisine, Chinese cuisine, and we need to bring the Newah cuisine in a standard model also. Now I'm going to invite Professor Linda Iltis from Seattle, Washington. She has prepared something about Jala Pyakhan, which she studied a long time ago in Nepal. So I put the title Introduction to Jala Pyakhan as Ancient Newah Spiritual Drama. Is that the correct term, or I just put it up? So please go ahead and your floor.
Oh.
Thank you, Linda.
Oh. Namaste. Thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this event. I'm just so pleased to have this opportunity, and I appreciate all the hard work you're doing, Daya and Prajol and Sason and everyone in this group. It's just a wonderful thing to do, especially during COVID. It's made my life much better. And so let's see. I'm going to start. I guess I have to share my screen. Is that right? I have Terry Ellingson, my husband, is sitting next to me. He also knows Newari. And I'm going to start with, oops, wait, I didn't mean to hit that. Did I? Share screen, okay. The first thing, I'm sharing is actually, I was looking through my materials on Harsiddhi and Jala and Jaladesh and Jala Pyakhan. And I was first there in 1981. And I was sent there by a Vajracharya in Kathmandu who said, they do something like Swastani there. Because I was studying about Swastani, and so I had to go. But anyhow, that was why I went there in the first place, was because Saptamuni Vajracharya was the one who told me about that. And so I just am amazed. Everyone was so welcoming to me there in Harsiddhi and everywhere I went in Nepal, but especially in the Newar communities. And I have deep gratitude for all who made possible my studies there. And I wish to thank you so much. Okay, so I just wanted to share this because it was very sweet. Mangaldas Maharjan is here. He's a musician in Harsiddhi. And I was asking him about the Sala Pyakhan, actually, the horse dance that they perform there. And it turns out he's the main guru for that. And he said, well, I'll start at the beginning. So he sang this beautiful song with one of the Harsiddhi priests. And I'm going to just play it here a little bit. What do I do? How do I start the video? Oh, down here. Okay.
Ate niste narayana nateswara Visakarma manka bhairav devare Ate si nateswara bhamoyana dinadara sanabhiyatere Ate si nateswara bhamoyana dinadara sanabhiyatere Ade swamaga nesa swaguni bhuvanasa arasidi darasana yaye Ade swamaga nesa swaguni bhuvanasa arasidi darasana yaye Adesi Nateswara Bhavayana Tinadara Sana Telare Adesi Nate Sora Bavoyana Dina Darasana Telere Ades Mamaga Nesa Shonguli Bhuvanasa Sede Darasana Yare Ades Mamaga Nesa Shonguli Bhuvanasa Sede Darasana Yare. Solo Pyakhan Shree abne. Ale. Ade deguli dega pi ganga kotageva ganespati hanare. Ade deguli dega pi ganga kotageva ganespati hanare. Ade deguli dega pi ganga kotageva ganespati hanare. Deva Dagini Sankhamarayana Halomantake Bhavari Adesna Deva Dagini Sankhamarayana Halomantake Bhavari Adesna Deva Dagini Sankhamarayana Halomantake Bhavari Ade deguli dega pi dega Gotadeva Ganespati Dhanare. Ade deguli dega pi dega Gotadeva Ganespati Dhanare. Ade deguli dega pi dega Gotadeva Ganespati Dhanare.
So it goes on, and there's a verse I'm going to skip ahead to with the words.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Shoot. This is about the Tibetans coming to see Nepal. Oh, why isn't it showing? Well, I'll pause it there because I have some other things to show. But I just thought that was so interesting to hear about the Tibetans coming and watching the Natesh, or doing puja to Nateshwar and Ganesh, and they came to see what was going on in Nepal. And this is a good lead-in because Jala Pyakhan is an unusual dance drama. It's actually the biggest celebration is on Holy Puni, which is tomorrow, and they all scatter the red abhyar. Everybody has fun with that, and this is Ramchandra. This is one of the scenes in Jala Pyakhan where Ramchandra is there and he has a fight with Lake, a demon, But it's very much surrounded, and what's really embedded in the Jala Pyakhan is Nasah Dyah and Nrityanath and Ganesh. And these deities are really at the heart of it. And Terry will speak briefly too about Nasah Dyah, but this was just an accidental picture. I don't know how I got a double exposure, but it has the Nasa Kappa here on the left side of the picture. And then the Dyojus of the dance drama are standing there with the red powder having.
We are not seeing the picture you're talking about. So.
Oh, you're not seeing that?
Yeah, we just saw only the video
Sure.
clip,
Okay.
still video clip. So the pictures are not there.
Okay, here we go. Share. Now, can you see?
Yes, now I see.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm still learning how to use Zoom, so I apologize. Please call me out if I'm doing something wrong. So this shows you the Nasa Kappa there on the left, and the Dyojus are there. And this is actually on the day, a few days after Puni, Pagun Puni, when they go up to Godavari and have a mela there. And so they're all celebrating, having a big festival there. The dance drama is very much, the ritual dance drama is very much supported by the rice fields, and that's what sustained the tradition for so many years. But as you see in this picture, this was taken back in 1983, probably. Harisiddhi was badly damaged during the earthquake in 2015, and my heart just sank because they really was devastated. So I don't think any of these traditional buildings, or very many of them, are left, but they did a lot to try to restore as much as they could. This is just a map where you can orient yourself to where Harisiddhi is relative to Kathmandu and Chatan on the way to Godavari. And there are sacred mountains, the Dilto Maju, Ulto Maju, down in the lower left and right corners are where two of the deities that appear in the drama are. And Manju Shree is between them down at Chobar Gorge. This is a scene in Dholka. They used to go as far as Dholka, and this is actually their dedicated, why can't I say it? Doubly, thank you. This is their dedicated doubly in Dholka. No one else, no other dance group can perform there. And that was their Dyoche in the background there. And we went to visit it. But this is back in Harisiddhi and Jala on the Lachi. There they have a Lachi rather than a Dabu. The Lachi extends out from the temple, and the curtain has images of the main deities on it that's used before each scene. But as I was saying before, Jala Pyakhan is kind of unusual because it's kind of the dance you shouldn't see, or maybe you don't see because there's so much inside understanding of it. And that's why I had a really nice quote in my article, Swemaru Pyakhan, Swo. Oh, forgot the words to it. Anyway, Sunano Hekale, Samoru, Kanimoru, Salajaka Tayedu, Sunano, To Sunano Hekaleni. Who's dancing, who's made, you can't see it, you can't hear it. There's just a voice, and you're wondering what's making you move inside. And I think that's Nasah Dyah, basically, moving through the drama and helping the deities along to interface with people. And there's another funny saying in Harisiddhi. They say, not even a dog would watch. And that's because at one point they used to start the Pyakhan in Mangsir Puni, and they would extend for 3 months, and they would perform every day for 3 months. And they said, you know, Kichanan Waswo, you know, no, but not even a dog would want to watch this because it was kind of boring after a while.
Okay, make it short a little bit, please.
Yeah, I'll move quickly now. So these are the Gyojus moving through town on cloth. Some of the performers here during the Pyakhan. Let's see. Oh, the sort of beautiful, most beautiful mask, I think, is the one. Oh, excuse me. The Kishi is the elephant, very beloved character in the drama. But let's see, oh, what happened to my thing? I'm getting lost. I guess I can hit this, right? Are you seeing this?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the lineages come out of the ears of Kishi. Kishi is like an Aju grandfather character, and out of him are born Karna and Keshari, and they're like babies. And then the lineages of performers actually evolve through different roles, but starting as Kishimacha for some of them. And then they're novices at this, they evolve to become novices in learning from the tantric taku. And this shows kind of the lineages. There's 19 gods, 8 ghosts, and then 2, they're called dogs, but not, I think that's just another identification of what are actually the servant deities or servant gods for the shrine. Oh, I know I don't have much time, but Vikramaditya is another character in the drama, the king Vikramaditya, and he fights the kings. And, so I probably should stop there just so you can move forward in the program.
I think we're going to need a whole session for you to present this one.
Yes, I have a lot more, but this was a good practice for me because
yes.
I've never done Zoom like this before. So
I will coordinate with Brazil to do the whole presentation on this one. So
okay,
that's a good point. Thank you, Linda. So
you're so welcome, and thank you for inviting me.
So please go ahead and on share.
Myself. Okay.
Yeah. Now we are going to from United States to Hong Kong. So I made the Hong Kong people wait so long because I was not thinking that it's going to take that long because a lot of people got extra minute, so combined together. Tina Ho, are you guys ready? So definitely it is your turn. So now I would like to present the presentation from the Hong Kong Dance Mandala, which is Brazil's students are performing all kinds of dances. So definitely go ahead, Tina, it's your turn. So please also mention who are presenting and who are joining with you. So also their names and everything. And floor is yours, Tina, go ahead.
Okay, so Tina is going to do the presentation. So with the video here, they made a great video for us. So I'm going to play with this video. Oh, wait for a second. This recording does not exist. What that means? Haha. What that means, it doesn't exist. Try again. Go back to try again. Sorry, where is the video goes? This one? Wait. Okay, sure. Okay. Let me see the video. Sorry for the complicated. I just. Okay, wonderful. So this is the Hong Kong Sangha. This is the Hong Kong Sangha, which is the dance Mandala Sangha in Hong Kong. And Tina Ho and Liza, they lead the Hong Kong Sangha. They're performing the Vajrabarahi dance. So you will see this.
Hello everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Hong Kong Dance to thank you for inviting us to participate in the 4th anniversary of the Newah conference. We are very, very honored to be part of it. For this occasion, we have chosen to do a dance which is called Dasha-par-mitaa. It's one of the Charya dance that we learned from our teacher, Charya. Actually, our group has learned this only a month ago. This is very new to us, but we love this dance because this dance basically tells all about Buddhism. From the accepting of everything, from Mother Nature, from being strong and fearless to complete happiness. So basically the dance tells us all about what we need to know to be enlightened. And it's such an amazing dance because the emotion and the variation is so intense and so wonderfully changing throughout the dance. And for us, this is only very, very beginning. We tried our best, and I'm sure in the days to come, it will continue to improve, not in terms of its form, but in terms of how we internalize all the values and all the teachings of the Buddha. So with this, we'd like to offer this dance to you, and hope that you will all enjoy it, and hope that you will all, like us, love this dance. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more? Wow, Tina, thank you so much. Definitely, you guys have worked so much to put together all these, the pieces, and it's very encouraging. So I'm inspired that how much you have learned just using the Zoom, right? I think the Prajal was not there, so you used that. It's really amazing. So we all clap your work, good work. So.
Yeah, that's
Not further ado, so maybe we already passed 2 hour time. I have just the 2 items left. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Rabinman Shakya. So he wants to greet us, all of us. She's representing Nepal Oregon Media. So Rabinman, are you? Yes, he's here. Okay, Rabinman, it's your floor for a couple of minutes for you to let's give some feedback and also your message to the group. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jaya. Thank you, Prajal Gurju. We are so overwhelmed by the programs, by the dances, by the presentations, by the poems. It was so nice, so amazing. Thank you. Like everybody, first of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizers of the program, which is dedicated to the celebration of 4th World Newah Day. Like they say, I am a journalist and I run a blog that's called Nepal Oregon News. I have been lately covering a lot of news about the activities being carried out by Nritya Mandala Mahavihar. So, and using this opportunity, on behalf of the Nepal Oregon News and on my own, I would like to say Happy World Newah Day to everybody. And I want to emphasize on one thing, that World Newah Day is an opportunity for the entire world, for the entire Newah people across the world to renew our commitment for the Newah cause in changing times. Celebration of World Newah Day is a solemn occasion for the Newahs to raise the value of Newah identity. World Newah Day should be celebrated to remind our government in Nepal to respect our Newah value and culture and declare Nepal Sambat the national and official calendar of Nepal. In my opinion, World Newah Day is also a day to pay tributes to all the pioneering luminaries, writers, poets, journalists of Nepal like Jagat Sundar Malla, Siddhidas Mahajo, Nisthananda Bajracharya, Yogbir Singh Kansakar, Dharmaditya Dharmacharya, Chitadhar Hriday, Fateh Bahadur Singh, Prem Bahadur Kasa, Padmaratna Dhuladhar, Maniklal Shrestha, and so on. Myself, being a journalist, I would like to give a very brief information about the history of Nepalese media. Very briefly, I won't take more than 2 minutes. At present, we have a lot of newspapers, a lot of magazines. Even we have a television and FMs in our language, the Nepal Bhasa, which is the language of the Newah people of Nepal. But going back to the history, the first book in Nepal Bhasa was written and published by Pandit Nisthananda Bajracharya. The name of the book was Ek Bisanti Pragya-par-mitaa. The book was printed, the book was written by him and printed by the letter press, which was invented, which was made by himself. It was published in 1909. That means about 112 years ago. The Nisthananda Bajracharya also has written the Lalit Bistar, the most famous work about Lord Buddha's life story, and Swayambhu Purana. That book was published in 1914-80. And speaking about the first magazine of Nepal, the first printed magazine in Nepal Bhasa was Buddha Dharma or Nepal Bhasa, edited and published by late Dharmaditya Dharmacharya from Calcutta, not from Nepal, from Calcutta, British India in 1925. That was the time Nepal was ruled by the Rana autocracy. Even the magazines in Nepali language was not allowed to be printed from Nepal at that time. So Buddha Dharma over Nepal Bhasa was published and edited by Dharmaditya Dharmacharya with the purpose of popularizing and disseminating the Nepal Bhasa and the Buddhism. And then the first daily newspaper in Nepal Bhasa was printed and published in Kathmandu in 1955 by late Fateh Bahadur Singh in Kathmandu. So this is giving you a little bit details about our media in Nepal Bhasa. I don't want to take a lot of time because it is taking us very long. So once again, thank you very much for giving this opportunity to talk about it. Thank you. And once again, happy World Newah Day to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robin Mansakya. So definitely he is the well-known writer. He was the former editor of Rising Nepal, which was published a long time ago, still going on. So one of the national daily. Now I'm glad to have him in Portland. So he's been covering our news all the time. So thank you, Robin Man. Definitely your contribution will be rewarded down the road in the future. So we need to have somebody like you to make our activities, popularizing in the media world. Thank you. Now we are going to the last, item. So we still have another one. So that is about the Nasah Dyah. So the Nasah Dyah is one of the goddess of dances, goddess of music, and goddess of songs and everything, which is very popular in Newah community. So from the music, dance, and art, and artists, for cuisine, food and nutrition, and everything from culture and everything. So engineering, what you name it. So you can find anything you want to in your mind. So definitely you can get the sources from the Newah community, sources from the Newah heritage, sources from the, that's why the heritage we are celebrating is support Newah Day Celebration to dedicate and to remember whatever we have all these things to bring over here and then talk about. So we have a varieties of program today, varieties of talk. So this is why we are multilingual, multicultural, multicultural ethnic group we have here. Even though we say Newah, within Newah, there are many, many different diversities within it. So that's why now I would like to request Professor Ter Errington from Seattle, Washington on Nasah Dyah. Please, 5, 6 minutes, whatever you need to, so not more than 10 minutes.
A sec. Wait, let me close this a sec, Gary. Stop. Oh, terrible. We lost our PowerPoint.
Find it over there. There it is. I have a slideshow from there, now down below there. Yes.
Can you see us?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yes, share screen there with the green button. So that's the, if you want to share anything. Green
I have to go back to the share. Ooh. Oops.
Go back to the share, the green button, and share it.
Click this. Okay. There. Can you see now?
Not yet.
Oh dear.
Sorry. Oh.
Green button, then take also the blue buttons. Share it.
Oh, I do this and share. Yeah.
Okay, now it's gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Now we see it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Tariman Guruju and Namaste Pasapin. Jin Newa by Bati Bati Shu Banlakamashu. So I will talk in English. There are many festivals in Nepal, and Nasah Dyah is present at almost all of them, where there's music and where there's dance. And that was in Hanumandoka, the Sikali Pyakhan.
Oh, this was.
Yeah. Yes, that was. And this, of course, is in the Chatan Royal Palace. And we see a classic image of Nataraja, Shiva Nataraja, dancing on his bull Nandi. And he's surrounded by animal-headed gods and goddesses playing different kinds of musical instruments. This is what you kind of expect when you think of Nataraja. But in fact, there are many different forms of Nasah Dyah. Here in a village shrine, Linda, could you? Bore. Could you zoom in on the, thank you, oops. There, on all of them. There you go. So can I do this? Here's a forearm form of Nasah Dyah up at the top. Can you see that?
Yes.
See the arrow moving? Okay. These are probably sun and moon here to either side of him. Down here we see Ganesh with his elephant head up. And this is probably Kumar. Then up here, we see a goddess playing the quota, and that is the lion-headed goddess Singini. And this is Vyagrini, the tiger-headed goddess, and they are both from Buddhist tradition. Excuse me, am I fighting you?
No, that's it. You want to go ahead?
And could you go back, please? There. Now could you zoom in again?
Okay.
Just a second. And then just let me, there. Okay. And these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Move that back.
Yeah, don't touch this.
6, 7, 8 Buddhist symbols. So this is a half Hindu, half Buddhist picture of Nasah Dyah. And this is a typical kind of synthesis that we find in many forms of Newar art. That is symbolism that is borrowed both from Buddhist and from Hindu symbolism, and maybe from some older traditions as well, lying outside the window.
Yeah. Want me to go to the next one?
Yes, would you please? Okay. Now, I'm glad that we had the rendition of this song before. Guru Jaya Namo Sri Buddha Bhagavana Nasah Dyah. Oops, he's off the picture. Yeah. There's Mahadev, there's Vishnu, Saraswati, and the Kubera, who bears an eerie resemblance to King Birendra when he used to toss gold coins down from the Hanamandoka to the dancers below. He doesn't look very happy to be doing that. Here is the rear of the procession, and these are some of the animal-headed musicians, again, playing their different instruments. And there is Singini, lion-faced, playing her three-headed drum right here, 2 heads on right and left, and 1 right in the middle that she plays from the top. Again, a mixture of Hindu and Buddhist representations. Here is a purely Buddhist form of Nasah Dyah. And this is, I believe, Padmanabhaswara. And this was on a book by Bhikshu Sudarshana. And there are a number of these Buddhist representations of Nasah Dyah. Padmanabhaswara. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have my pages here, so I'll just skip over all of the names.
This is from you, Daya?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. And this one is especially nice. It's the iconography is entirely Hindu, but the coloring is pretty much like a Tibetan Buddhist tanka with these bright chrome colored reds, greens, and blues here. And here is Nandi the bull. And if you look very closely at his nose, you see that he has a wrinkled nose, which is very characteristic of fierce gods and fierce animals in Tibetan art. I don't think I've seen that in any Newah art tradition, but you can tell me if in fact that is a Newah kind of thing. But some of these styles have been copied from Tibetan artists by Newahs who went to Lhasa and patronized Tibetan artists as well as Tibetan Buddhist monasteries. Now, here's somebody who is obviously very Newah because he's an abstract Nasah Dyah. This is based on a painting in the National Museum in Bhaktapur, and it was copied by a Vajracharya artist from Bhaktapur. And we see Nasah Dyah here as an abstract rendition of exploded body parts and attributes. And here we go. We have the sun and moon up above, white for the sun and the male sex, red for the moon, or excuse me, white for the moon and the male sex, red for the sun and female sex. So, Linda, stop, go up again. A black raven here with the males, a red eagle here with the females, a king and a queen to the Nasah Dyah's right and left, but below the three eyes, we have a parasol above. Below the three eyes, we have a banner, a sword, a lotus, a chopper, a skull bowl, and then all of a sudden we have human body parts, 4 arms,
And the colors too.
and a kalash, and a fire altar in triangular form with a snake. These are all tantric symbols. And then here are Singini and Vyagrini, the Buddhist meditation goddesses, playing Singini with the 3-headed drum here, and Vyagrini with a pair of cymbals here. And then down below, still white and red, the male dog and the female dog. Male dog is chewing on a hand and the human hand, and the female dog is chewing on a human foot. That's a wonderful painting. And this is the exact opposite. This is a minimalist abstraction of Nasah Dyah into 3 eyes incised on a stone in Sanku. And here also in Sanku, 2 Vajracharya priests from Gunbahal, the Khadga Yogini temple in Sanku, and they're doing a Buddhist ceremony in worship of Nasah Dyah before the annual Khadga Yogini dance, the Pyakhan, Devi Pyakhan. And here, another abstract form. This is the Nasah Kappa that we saw before. Ganesh has tears coming out of his eyes on the left. On the right, you have Bhairav with his beetle brows flaring up above his eyes. And in the middle, of course, is Nasah Dyah himself. And we can't tell if he's Hindu or Buddhist there. He's just simply Nasah Dyah. And he's widely found in that kind of form all over Kathmandu and all over the valley, painted by Chitraकार painters rather than the Vajracharya artists who produced those very elaborate iconographic portraits that we were looking at. Go ahead. Oh, But then, this is another abstract form of Nasah Dyah. Why don't you go up there? That's one of Nasah Dyah's most characteristic forms, animal horns. Mostly buffalo, but a few other kinds of animals there too. Nasah Dyah, unlike Shiva Nataraj, Nasah Dyah accepts blood sacrifices at his shrines. And so that is a big difference between Nasah Dyah. Here, the horns are placed on a drum. It's called yakakin or damakin, depending on where you find it in the valley. And that shows you that the drum is itself a god or a temple with Nasah Dyah inside. And these are very rare, very respected drums. Go ahead to the next one. Aha. And here's Nasah Dyah visualized in abstract form as a bunch of musical instruments, because Nasah Dyah is,
by Prem Bahadur Kansakar.
yes, it's by Prem Bahadur Kansakar. And he did that drawing and that book way back in the 60s, 1965. I love that. That is a very exclusive kind of thing. It has an elongated makim drum up at the top. It has two ta symbols for the eyes, two mohali oboes for the nose, two bushya. I think so.
Yeah, bushya.
I've got these big glasses there, bushya for the ears, and then that damaru down at the bottom.
The tainai.
Oh, the triangle, yeah, the tainai is his mouth.
I don't know what these rope things
Oh, the ropes.
are.
They're
Oh, there's
just
a drum.
they're just the outline of his head and maybe some hair too. Okay, here's, because the drums, because all the instruments are receptacles of Nasah Dyah, or places where Nasah Dyah manifests himself. They're always worshipped at rituals and ceremonies. So here, the Naikim drum is being pujad by the gentleman to his right there, putting flower petals and powder on the tika powder on the drum. Likewise here, this boy is playing a neku, which is a trumpet made from an animal horn, in this case, a goat's horn, that's set into a bamboo pipe to get a long enough length. And the boy has got some of the red and yellow tika powder on his forehead as well, and flower in his hair. He gets some of the same offerings as Nasah Dyah does go back. And but he's not considered an emanation of Nasah Dyah. Nasah Dyah emanates in the instruments rather than in the players. There are actually 3 different kinds of neku made of animal horns. This one is made with a goat's horn. It plays a very, what's that? It plays a very high note, and all of these trumpets play words. They're called mantra boli, or mantra syllables. And the ones that these small horns play are Saranam, 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 in very high voice. Next. These are the middle-sized ones, and you see that the horns form a rounded end to these straight bamboo tubes here. And these always play Aryatara, Aryatara, Aryatara. And we know that these have been associated with worship of Tara for at least several centuries. But here we see on the Stupa of Sanchi from the first century AD, the same instruments, the long bamboo tube and the curved horn at the end. And they're playing for the funeral of the Buddha, which took place in the early centuries, I mean, the late centuries BC. But this image was produced in the first century AD. So these instruments have a very long history in Buddhism, and they've obviously been in Nepal for quite a long time. Oh, and the third trumpet is just a big buffalo horn, like the one you saw on the drum earlier. And it plays a deep note that goes boo, da, da, ma, sa, da. So you get the three of these together, and they are quite a medley of sound that you don't hear anywhere else in the world. Oops, sorry.
It's time to wrap up the chair, please.
Okay, and I'm just about to the end.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here, Linda, can you
Zoom in on this?
Yeah.
Okay, there.
This is a ritual text from the Sargadurgati Parishodhana literature. And these are the mudras that you make when worshiping the 16 goddesses of music. You see right there on the upper right is that same three-headed drum, the kota. And you can see other Nepalese instruments in the other rows on this image. And this is a text from the 7th or 8th century AD. And so,
Not this particular one necessarily, but
oh,
it's
not,
copied. See?
yeah, right. Not this copy, but the Sarvadurgati literature dates from that time. So, and here is a drum that embodies Bhairav. And it's a very richly ornamented drum, as you can see, all of the jewelry, and then the very realistic sculpture mask of Bhairav. And finally, a mandala here with Vajrasattva on the top center, Mahakala Bhairava in the middle, and Nasah Dyah down below. This is for the Buddhist Pyakhan that was performed in Chatan. And I would like to just end this by stating that we have. Oh, can you do that?
We'd have to unshare the screen. You want me to unshare?
Oh, can you show this? Show this?
I'll say stop share and then I can see it.
That's the mandala of Pyakhan with a Nasah Dyah at the bottom, and also the Vajracharya and Kulapada Vajracharya and Srinivasa Mala families. They were responsible for writing the music and the text of Pyakhan. Behind me is the exploded body form of Nasah Dyah. Up near the ceiling on the left side is the song about Buddha returning to Lumbini. And all the way ahead of us,
And that was painted by Joel's brother.
all of these were painted by Joel's brother, including this one of a Buddha Chanko with all of the Jaya and the Pancha Buddha and the Chatan and the Namagraha and Kubera at the bottom. And
Okay, thank you, Ter. This is very wonderful information regarding the Nasah Dyah. So Nasah Dyah in Newah language and Pratmaniteshwara in Sanskrit is the same image, same goddess, same goddesses. So we can go in both ways. We have a lot of work to do. So all these, subjects are very much rich. So definitely, thank you. You have done so much work in your life. And hope you will keep the documentation of all the study what you have done so that it can be used by the other people to continue the study on subject you have done in the past. So,
well, I published a much longer article several years ago, and I would be happy to send an email citation for those of you who would like to look it up. I was very surprised to find out that Linda had recorded that song in Hari City about Nritya Swara
In the Pyakhan.
in Pyakhan about Nritya Swara Narayana.
Oh, that's something new. I never heard that before.
That's a Vaishnavite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I always
actually,
think of him as Shaivite in Hindu traditions.
yes, thank you so much, Ter and Linda. Definitely, we will keep in touch and then do the more extensive version of presentation from both of you. So someday we will have to organize that way. So, Prajwal, we are almost going to the we were thinking about 2-hour program, but now beyond 2 hours. So definitely, we're not gonna go another 15-minute open floor for question answer. We don't have enough time, so I will give the floor to Prajwal for any thank you note and also do the Vihar daily rituals. Prajwal is here for now. Thank you so much for everybody's coming to celebrate the 4th World Newah Day. We will do again next year. So it's an ongoing kind of activities. We will do that. Definitely, it was very wonderful. Thank you for coming to this program. Prajwal is yours now. It's unmute. You need to unmute. Not yet.
Thank you for the day. This coordinating, everything's going very smoothly. Even it's like a little bit long, and especially in the East Coast, it's getting really late. So I'm sorry for that. But so closings that we do in our temple, night ritual closing, the Arati, if you want to join. And also before that we close, I want to announce a little bit tomorrow with the full moon's Holy Purnima. So we are doing the Namasangdi Chanting as a 6:30, same timing as today. So please come and join. We'll be displayed the Namasangdi on the computer so you can read along with that. Or if you have a Namasangdi, just bring it that and we go, chant the Namasangdi. That's every month, every full moon that we do in our Bihar. So get together. We have an international Sangha who's joining for the Namasangdi. So that's what we are doing here. So, okay, so we're going to have I see, Tina is still here. Tina, are you still here?
Yeah, she's here.
Do you want to share text for the night ritual, or I don't know, you still
Okay, let me find it. You can start first.
Yeah, so Tina can share the ritual text from the Hong Kong. So you will see that what we're doing in the night rituals here. So you get to know all the texts. So, okay, first we're going to take purify our hands and body. Okay, we call cleansing. Wongin sauring sakai visuni sabak visuni sa chitta visuni sauring sakai visuni sabak visuni sa chitta visuni sa wongin sauring sakai visuni sabak visuni sa chitta visuni sauring sakai visuni sabak visuni chitta visuni swaha. We clean up body, speech, and mind. With the water. Now we take the mandala offering with a little rice in the hand. This is the Mandala offering. Saturatnam Mero Soyan Naratnam Samadhinu Tadinu Nagam Gurubhya Gurudharmabhya Samgadhya Sattvaita Viratavinu Sampurnaratnam. After then we get into the quality. Netrajilad Bodhan Kosa Naraj Pilachir Pada Parma Pragya Padpak Mozala Dimalasan Ram Bodhi Pirim Prism Bodhi Pirim Prism Bodhi Pirim Petichesa Netralad Bodhan Kosa Naraj Pilachir Pada Parma Pragya Padpak Mozala Dimalasan.
Move down, please.
Bodhi Pirim Petichesa Netralad Bodhan Kosa Naraj Pilachir Pada Parma Pragya Padpak Mozala Dimalasan Ram Bodhi Pirim Prism Bodhi Sabodhi Pirim Petichesa Netra Bodhan Kosa Naraj Pilachir Pada Parma Pragya Padpak Mozala Dimalasan Ram Bodhi Pirim Prism Bodhi Pirim Petichesa. We take a blessing for our eyes. And we're sending light to everyone too. Take a little light to get blessed for your eyes too. Now we're going to do the Dasha-par-mitaa chanting. So
Upaya
Balena Samugata Buddha Praditi Baladhyatarasimha Praditi Balushanka Surya Krishabam Karunikaisya Puram Pravishantam Jnana Balena Samugata Buddha Jnana Baladhyatarasimha Jnana Balushanka Surya Krishabam Karunikaisya Puram Pravishantam.
Now we have a final chanting. Final chanting. There's rice for everybody. Hey. Bande Shree Bhajasato Sarvadam Mananam Namarupam Jivipranam Miram Nirsanam Dharmadharam Jnanasmatram Mandalam Bhadratu Sarvanandakarupam Parasunyam Denam Moshetu Ajnanandakara Dimanamasattam Mondakara Palikalo Kamalo Sanrasmi Jnana Prakasha Kurikuri Virhanam Sri Vajasattam Sri Samnamani Yasmi Srara Srimane Viratam Papam Rapam Rashtrovi Tasri Sasakre Dimaniram Sri Lokanatam Samprami Buddham Trilokanam Surivirmitam Parasamsaravidam Dhiram Gambhiram Tam Sarvaguruni Dharmarajan Samtam Krishna Bundakara Kalikalo Shamlo Bhagavatam Tam Bande Sakshya Pramasa Sarvakavanaya Rinkaram Samnatu Karnadi Mosam Amokapasa Namanam Lokanatanani Manami Lakshmi Vanamintara Jnadhate Ve Sarkuya Vechati Namadhatu Namaste Namaskare Vidi Kristare Venasam Turi Sarva Turi Kare Swankaram Nani Sabdharma Kundali Kacho Sarvajni Gunasaram Samantabhadra Sastaram Sakishyanam Om Vajrasattva Samaya Palaya Vajrasattva 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 Anapyo me Bhava Sarasiti Nekrecha Sarvakamisya Chitashriya Guru Ha 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 Om Bhagavan Sarvatara Maha Samini Sattva Sattva Parayatama Surivasi Saki Buddha Akamsa Gotam Buddha Sarasandya Yete Buddhi Concentra Buddhi Katanayat Niguru Darinasi Jini Kamne Shehe Esa Siman Sadi Sakete Sipakas Ministaki Nimbar Nidu Sudhapi Buddha Bhasa Kam. So Yakuiko Subad Dakushita, thank you very much for joining. It's a a long day. So thank you. And so that's it is so wonderful to have you all here to join. And it's great. So that's I can say. So this is our Sangha with the people here with there's a Bobby, there's a Gabriel, there's a Josh, there's a Anastasia, there's a Stormy, and there's a Annie. So this is the Sangha we gathered together tonight for this event. So thank you. So I can say thank you. And